this video, we are going to kind of like learn about like for example tangent, let's say 120 degrees, right? What on earth is this number so big, right? Sine 200 degrees, that kind of stuff. So we're dealing with trigonometry where the angles are more than 90 degrees. Okay, from previous videos, we explained sine, cosine, and tangent by this, right? By right angled triangles, right? Which actually look like this. I'm going to just draw with colors also. And then oops, here. Okay, this is the right angle, right? And we remembered that actually the longest is the hypotenuse. Okay, and if we choose this yellow angle here, then the opposite will be here, and the adjacent is this, correct? Okay, and we said that sine of, well, if I put this angle as x is equals to opposite divided by hypotenuse, cosine x is adjacent divided by hypotenuse, and we're talking about lengths, right? Length of the adjacent, length of hypotenuse, length of the opposite, and lastly tangent x is the length of the opposite divided by the adjacent. Okay, so you realize that these angles are less than 90 degrees, correct? Because yeah, they're just less than 90 degrees. So okay, to understand what happens when these angles now exceed 90 degrees, we can actually draw a number line. Okay, so okay, this is gonna be a little hard for me to draw. It's like, okay, gosh, it's so ugly. Okay, I'll just draw one more time. And okay, I'll just imagine these lines to be straight. Okay, where of course this side, any number from here, on this yellow line, any number on this, okay, any number on this yellow line is positive. Okay, where the yellow axis are positive. Okay, so for example, this can be like 1, 2, 3, and goes up. Alright, similarly, this is like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So the purple one will be the negative side. Okay, draw nicely, yes. Okay, so this is also the negative side, where for example this will be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, okay? So negative 4, negative 5, it just goes on. Okay, so well, so let's say, right, we have our x to be maybe 60 degrees. Okay, it's gonna be a nice number. Okay, and since the yellow axis is positive, so we're going to say that of course tangent 60 is just equals to since we are measuring this length as positive, correct? So it's just opposite divided by adjacent. Okay, and if you put tangent 60 into your calculator, it will give you root 3. Okay, which means the ratio of the opposite to the adjacent is root 3 is to 1. Which means, for example, this could be root 3 and this could be 1, or of course this could be 2 root 3 and adjacent could be 2, you know, as long as the ratio is root 3 is to 1. Okay, so okay, so now let's imagine this angle 120 degrees. Alright, so if you're going to have something that looks like 120 degrees, we look at this cyan thing. Okay, so you can see that this 120 degrees, right? And probably the triangle will look something like this. Yeah. Okay. So to find it, all we need to do is just to draw this down, make a right angle with this axis. Okay. And you can see that this angle is 60 degrees because one straight line is 180 degrees, right? So if you have something like 120 here, then if you have, for example, let's say this is 120, then this has to be 60. Okay, which is why that's 60. Okay, so when you see this 60 here, it actually looks like a right angled triangle on this side, right? It's the same as this one, right? Okay, so from this we know that well, the opposite would be root 3 is to 1, correct? Okay, but remember this root 3, this length root 3 is positive, while in this negative side the number line is here. I mean, this 1 is actually negative 1, right? As compared to here, where this is a 1. Alright, I'm just going to write it here. This 1, you see? This is the 1 here. But on the other hand, this is also 1. I mean, the length of this yellow line that I'm going to draw now, this length is 1, right? But because it's in the negative axis, it is negative 1. Alright, so similarly, you can see that actually tangent 120 is equals to, since the opposite in this case is this, right? This is root 3, and the adjacent is negative 1. So we divide by negative 1 to get negative root 3. If you type it in your calculator, you get the same answer. Tangent 120 is negative root 3. Of course, all these angles you're talking about are in degrees. Okay, it's not in radians, it's in degrees. So make sure your calculator is set to degree mode. Okay, so just applying this concept, you can find angles from 0 to 360 degrees. Okay, and anything beyond 360 degrees is just a repetition. So it's the same thing. Alright, so maybe let's say I'm going to use this green one. We're going to do, for example, 240 degrees. Okay, so maybe 240 degrees is okay. I'm going to use a red one now. Here to here, right? See this red, big fat angle. Okay, for an angle like that, okay, 240 degrees. Same thing, you can just draw a right angle. Okay, and again you can see that actually this is 60 degrees, right? So again, this is root 3. The length is root 3, and the length of this red line that I'm going to draw now, okay, this is 1 again. Okay, and just erase anything else that doesn't confuse you. Okay, but again remember, now this time both are in the negative direction, so they are in negative axis. So this is actually negative root 3, correct? Because it's the negative axis, and this is negative 1, still negative 1. So tangent 240 is actually equals to negative root 3 and negative 1, which is just root 3. Same thing, plug it into your calculator and you get the answer. Okay, so actually you can explain trigonometry like this. Okay, if you use sine, cosine, it's going to be the same. Okay, you draw the number line, you draw where the how much the angle is. Okay, and then you count the values of sine, cosine, tangent. Okay, so as you can see, it's actually not so much about the right angles now. It's more on how you draw the lines in the axis.